Week 1 is officially in the books for college football, and now it's time for power rankings around the SEC. These are my first power rankings for the 2025 SEC football season following Week 1. Hello, everyone. I'm Lucas Hill here of SEC Live at the Voice of College Football. Thank you all for tuning in on what should be a very fun video. Do us a favor. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Turn on that bell notification down below so that you are notified every time we post a new video here on SEC Live. Thank you to our friends over at the Voice of College Football website. Guys, going over to vocfb.com/shop and get you guys the best when it comes to anything regarding the Voice of College Football shop. Guys, we've got the best when it comes to your gear. We've got your hats. We have your trucker hats, your regular old camo hats. Guys, we got some dad hats, got some t-shirts, got some polos. Guys, we got all the team branded apparel as well. Guys, if you do not see your team on there, it's coming. We're working on it. We're working hard to bring you the best and give you the best when it comes to all things brand apparel here at the Voice of College Football. So it's time for Week 2's power rankings. And boy, am I excited to bring you this, guys. And I know this is going to generate a lot of heated debate and a lot of disagreement. But let's start at the bottom. We're going to go from the bottom up like we always do here. So now starting off at 16, I have Kentucky. They were my preseason bottom team in the SEC. I think it stays the same after week number 1. Got a big test coming up, though, this week. Ole Miss already. If you can steal a win there, you might bump yourself up a couple notches, but we'll see what happens as they play at Kroger Field. Ole Miss only a 10-point favorite going into this one. So anything can happen. Kentucky established themselves on the ground game last week against Toledo. Didn't do bad. Combined for over 130 yards rushing between the two running backs. I think they have a pretty good game plan of what they want to do. I know Dante Dowdle finished with, I think, over 100. Yeah, he finished with 129 yards rushing. Actually, I think they ran for more than 130. Yeah, they ran for 220 yards between Dante Dowdle and Seth McGowan, both of which will play key roles. I think if they want to beat Ole Miss, they're going to have to play time of possession. They're going to have to keep it on the ground with these two guys. I don't trust Zach Calzada through the air just yet. 15, I have Mississippi State. Good quality win against a pretty good G6, man. And people are going to look at it and say, well, it's just Southern Miss. Guys, Southern Miss, they got a lot of things brewing up in G6 land. And I know that they are going to kind of hate on it just because, it was just Southern Miss. Had a slow start in the first half. They went into the half only up 3, but that second half belonged to the Mississippi State offense. Blake Shapen had a good one, 26-34 for 270 and a touchdown. Devon Booth and Fluff Bothwell both combining for over 100 yards rushing. You got the ground game involved. The offensive line did really good against a very, very aggressive Southern Miss front seven, one that was really going to get after this team. Got some big plays behind the line of scrimmage overall from your defense, and you did just enough to keep yourself in the football game. Didn't do bad defensively. Got an interception, and really one of the biggest differences of the game was you being able to be efficient in the second half and really pull away from a stingy Southern Miss offense. 14, I have Arkansas. Another dominating win against an FCS opponent. So nothing really too concerning there. But again, it doesn't get easier from here for Arkansas. You get Arkansas State at War Memorial before having to go to Vaught Hemingway to play Ole Miss. Another in-state matchup for you. I will say, though, shout out Arkansas State, who we actually went to go see last year in the 68 Ventures Bowl. So got an opportunity to get a nice little win on the road. But shout out guys like Jalen Rayner and Corey Rucker, one of the best wide receiver quarterback duos in the Sun Belt Conference. Butch Jones doing some great things for Arkansas State and what that program is going to look like in the future. 13, I have Vanderbilt. Another quality win against a FCS opponent. Diego Pavia slung it around a little bit. 279 yards passing through the air. Got a big one with Virginia Tech this week. They could boost themselves up in the power rankings this week. Anything's possible, man. They could definitely get closer to the top 10 if they're not careful. 12, I have Missouri. Slow first quarter and a half. Didn't really perform well on the offensive line. You started to get your behind kicked a little bit. But Bo Pribula, hell of a game, man. I thought he did really well on the offense with helping guide this program, helping really take control of the offense, and really starting to see the maturity that he's shown. I think that's a reason why he was so highly recruited coming out of high school, and a reason why he's going to be a difference maker for Missouri at the end of the day. At 11, I have Alabama, and Gunner right here is going to pretty much tell you something that I'm glad Gunner's up here, by the way, because Alabama is about like Gunner. They are soft, very soft. Let me just tell you. And for those of you that were not here when we had our post-game show on Saturday, guys, this was a soft Alabama defensive line. They allowed for a guy like Tommy Castellanos, who got benched at Boston College, that talked all offseason about how Alabama was not going to be the same without Saban. And guess what he does? He backs up his words, because you are a soft team. You are a soft program. And there is nothing that is going to stop me from saying that right now, because you have not proven to yourself that you can compete at a high level right now, guys. You can't. And until things change, things will continue to stay the same for Alabama. That's why I have them so low and outside of the top 10. Imagine that, guys. I had them winning the national championship. They haven't been able to shut down an option game and keep contained to save their life. And the thing about this is, you got to play Gunner Stockton in 3 weeks. You got 3 weeks to fix this. You better fix it, because things need to change in that program. You need a culture shock. Number 10, I have Texas A&M. I thought you were that this was a UTSA program that was going to be competitive with Texas A&M. You know, UTSA and Jeff Traylor have these seasons where they win 11 games and they make a statement in the CUSA. This year could be one of those years. I really like Jeff Traylor. I know a couple of SEC analysts that were high on UTSA starting the season. Got down early, but Marcel Reed got it going in the second half, really started to take over that offense and really slung the football a little bit. Casey Concepcion had a big game. Got to get some more names that are out there, guys. Going to need those unknown names to really start to pop off if you're Kentucky at this, or not Kentucky, if you are Texas A&M at this point. Going to have to use those guys as you go down the stretch of the season. You're going to need them, especially with what is coming in a few weeks. Because you go on the road to Notre Dame. You better be physical, man. Got to be physical up front. Defensively, I think you got humbled a little bit. You allowed for a running back like Robert Henry Jr. to go for 11 yards a carry and a pair of scores. Can't say that this was a program that wasn't going to do just about anything. He's a two-time NJCAA All-American at Jones College, guys. He's a good running back, and last year led the team in rushing. So Texas A&M, you got to figure out on defense. I know Mike Elko has this program ready and where they need to go, but you can't give up 373 yards to a G6. You can't, especially not 200 plus yards on the ground when you got to go play Notre Dame, who has got two of the best running backs in college football. Got to get if you can get Jeremiah Love involved, it could be a long day for Texas A&M, who was a nightmare for them last year. Number 9, I have Oklahoma. Again, another big test for them this upcoming week with Michigan. And when I look at this matchup, I see two teams that are very, very similar to each other. Both quarterbacks, high ceiling. Bryce Underwood could be a potential future number 1 overall pick. Very, very physical quarterback. I thought Bryce Underwood did a very good job of really impressing me and knowing that there's still more to offer at the end of the day. He carries just an incredible swagger with him just as a quarterback that I don't think a lot of people have seen when it comes to a guy like Bryce Underwood. 21 of 31, 251 and a touchdown against New Mexico. Defensively, you could be better. But again, first game of the season, got a big one coming up for him. And I think this could end up being something that people will not really pay attention to when it comes to Bryce Underwood's game. And I don't really know if he's going to run the football a lot. And this is a run-first offense. Let's just be real with each other. Now, when I saw the box score with New Mexico, am I surprised about what it looked like for Michigan? Not really. I knew that guys like Justice Haynes was going to pop off. I was surprised you didn't get other guys like Jordan Marshall and Samaj Morgan more touches throughout the day, but I guess that comes with it. But think about what this team is going to look like. I think Oklahoma overall is going to hang around with Michigan. I think they do end up winning this football game, Oklahoma does. But when we talk about Michigan, they're going to find a way to stay in this game. No question about it. And all the hype is going to be around Bryce. Rightfully so. People forget about what John Mateer did this past weekend, though. Had 400 yards of total offense by himself. John Mateer is a really, really good quarterback. And I think what gets lost in this is that Mateer has a supporting cast around him. Mateer has a really, really good supporting cast around him that I think a lot of people really need to start paying attention to. You know, when we talk about guys like Keontez Lewis, who last year, pretty good season for Wisconsin. Guy that really didn't feel like he was utilized properly there. So what did he do? He hit the portal, and he got with John Mateer. Guys, this Oklahoma receiving core and we talked with Josh Mahler about it a couple weeks ago when we did our Oklahoma preview. Keontez Lewis, like we've already mentioned. Deion Burks, who I expect to be involved in this offense a lot. Jaron Kanek. We talked about the loss of Bauer Sharp and how that could potentially affect him. What did you go do? Well, you went out and you said, and you got a guy like Jaron Kanek who had to transition from the defensive side of the ball and ended up transitioning to a tight end. Guess what he does on his first game as a tight end? 5 receptions for 90 yards. By the way, it was only 2 years ago he's coming off of injury. I do expect him to be an X factor in this game. I think when Michigan loads up the box and they try to put pressure on John Mateer and try to keep him inside the pocket, he's going to find his dudes. He's got a deep core of receivers and tight ends that he can dump the football out to, and they can turn around and make plays. I do expect Mateer to run the football more. I expect guys like him, Torrey Blaylock, we'll see how many more carries that he's going to get. Averaged over 5.5 yards a carry. So, former 4-star recruit coming out of Humble, Texas. This is his first full year. He's getting the carries. He's going to get the start. We'll see what Jaden Ott looks like whenever he is fully healthy. I do expect Jaden Ott to take a good bit of snaps in the next few weeks or so. And I think that's what's going to matter at the end of the day if you're Oklahoma, is that you've got to get these backs involved because they're going to make the difference for you. They're going to give John Mateer different looks, and they're going to give him a lot of different options whenever it comes to the option game, RPO, whatever it is, guys. Whether it be Javonte Barnes when he's finally healthy, when he can be healthy, whether it be Xavier Robinson as a second option, or whether it be Jaden Ott whenever he finally gets ready to play. Guys, the ultimate thing that will matter for Oklahoma is, are you going to be able to run the football, and are you going to be able to hold your own at the line of scrimmage? We talked about getting an early start for Oklahoma. The offensive line was going to have to play a big role, and it started with that first game of the season. What did you do on third down? You were so much better at points. You're 4 of 10 on third down. So not terrible, but could have been better. Luckily, you were playing a team like Illinois State, and you didn't really have to do a whole lot that would have hurt you. But you could have won a lot more than 35-3. Avoid the turnovers, and we'll see what happens with Oklahoma. 8, I have Tennessee. Guys, statement win for them. Statement win after what happened during the offseason. All the talk about how Joey Aguilar is not an efficient starter. When I've been high on Joey Aguilar ever since he transferred, I talked about his accuracy and what he had to do to work that out throughout the offseason, and everybody's like, and they were clowning him because it's like, oh, Tennessee's going to have a bad season. Oh, he had one bad throw. Guys, you know what he does his first game? He goes 16-28 and throws 3 touchdowns. 57% completion rated. And everybody was talking about, well, the running game is going to take a hit. Oh, they're not going to have enough guys. Oh, it's going to be this. It's going to be that. Guys, Star Thomas came back. The Duke transfer, ran for almost 100 yards. Had almost 10 yards a carry. What does that tell you? Just saying. Talked about Deshaun Bishop. He got a little bit of playing time last year. Guess what he did? Ran for almost 90 yards. Had to sit behind Dylan Sampson a couple of years. But got his touches. Guys, he averages 6.1 yards a carry last year. He's going to be utilized. This running back room is going to be rotated a lot. Don't be surprised if you even see Peyton Lewis take some snaps. The one thing that you know about this Tennessee running back room is that they like to rotate guys. That's why they're one of the more efficient running back rooms in the Southeastern Conference, is when you do things like that. 7, I have South Carolina. Slow start, better fourth quarter. Once you got that deep ball to Nick Harbor, you were finally free. You got the offense rolling. Lenore Sellers was Lenore Sellers. And that's how you continue to finish games. So, offensive line is a liability. You got to find a rotation that you can be comfortable with. And from here on out, it's a grudge match. After South Carolina State, it is a gauntlet. And I know that we're going to say, well, Vandy's He's not really much of one. Kentucky's not really much of one. No, guys. No, do not sleep on either of those. Vandy still's got Pavia, who's got a target on his back, in my opinion, this year. In Kentucky, can you shut down the run game? You did good this past year, or this past week. We'll see if you can do the same. 6, I have Ole Miss. Slow start again for them, surprisingly. I thought that they were going to go in that football game against Georgia State and pretty much wipe the floor. But early on, struggled. Struggled to get things going. But second half was much better. You go up 25-7. It was 17-7 at some point in the second half or in the second quarter. And Kewan Lacey gets some much-needed touchdowns for Ole Miss. You get back in the football game, and you pretty much run away with it. Austin Simmons struggled with turnovers early on. And we knew early on that Austin Simmons was going to have his struggles. And people are going to look at that, and they're going to be like, well, weren't you just high on him? Yeah, but I also was a realist in knowing that he only had one drive. Guys, he had 2 turnovers. Turnovers that, if you're playing another SEC team, can eventually kill you. But you had back-to-back interceptions on back-to-back drives. One led to a missed field goal. The other was pretty much nothing for Georgia State's offense. You do that against teams like LSU, they're going to take advantage of that. So you've got a couple weeks to fix it. Austin Simmons is still a young quarterback. He's still going to make his mistakes. I do expect for him to continue to struggle over the next couple of weeks. But over time, I think Kentucky is going to find ways to put pressure on him and force some bad throws out of him. But I think at the end of the day, though, when you look at where Ole Miss is at, they have a lot of dudes. Kewan Lacey, I do expect him to get a lot of touches this upcoming weekend against Kentucky. They're going to try to play the time of possession game. I expect Ole Miss to do the same thing. 5, I have Texas. Offensively, you were pretty much anemic. You couldn't get much anything going. And it sucked, man. It really, really sucked on offense. So, Arch Manning, rough game. But, guys, you should have known this was coming. You should have known that Arch was going to have his struggles early on. You knew that. Don't deceive yourself and think that that wasn't going to happen. You knew that was a thing that was going to happen with a young quarterback like Arch. Got a couple weeks to fix it, man. And I think they will. I think play calling will get much better in the red zone. I think once you get rid of the red zone inefficiencies, that's when you'll start to see more of the playbook open for Arch Manning. 4, I have Florida. Good quality win against Long Island University, who barely can field a football team. But DJ Lagway had a pretty good opening game. Get healthy. Got 2 weeks until our number 1 power ranking team is where you have to travel. Anything happens there. Auburn coming in at number 3. Statement win for them this past weekend. Why do I have Auburn at 3? Guys, I'm starting to believe, man. I had them going from 14 to 3. Why do I have them so high? Guys, Auburn, if you can get your secondary in good position, and if you can improve in that area, Auburn can be a threat in the SEC. Jackson Arnold, have a game, dude. 137 yards rushing. You continue to add more elements to your game, which include you actually taking shots down the field to guys like Cam Coleman, getting more opportunities for guys like him and Eric Singleton to get involved in this offense, Auburn can cause some damage. Derek and guys like him and DJ Durkin, who's one of the best defensive coordinators in the game, could cause some damage out in the SEC. 2.5 Georgia. Big win for them over the weekend against a depleted Marshall team. I think you saw a good bit of what Gunnar Stockton's going to offer as a dual threat quarterback. And I'm really excited to see that, man. I think he's got a reloaded offensive line. I think he's going to have some good receiver this year. Zachariah Branch had a great game this past weekend. You're going to get guys like that involved, and you're going to get them continuing to get better and better and better in the receiving core. I think now I'm starting to kind of believe in what Gunnar Stockton could offer, but we'll see as the season goes on. And number 1, LSU. Man, did LSU make a statement over the weekend, finally getting the monkey off of Brian Kelly's back, winning their first season opener since 2019. Massive victory for LSU. Massive victory for Brian Kelly. Massive victory overall for a defense that, especially in that secondary, had a lot of questions. And not a whole lot of people were sure of what to expect this season. But guys like Mansour Delane, PJ Woodland, AJ Halsey, who didn't play in the first half, came in the second half. There's a reason why he was such a pivotal piece to that secondary. Guys, DBU might be back in Louisiana. And it started with those two guys, with Halsey and with Mansour Delane. It's going to be a fun season for LSU. Offensively, got to get better in the red zone. The same struggles that plagued you last year, it's like an Achilles heel for you. Let's see if Joe Sloan can change up the play calling. We'll see if things can change overall for this team whenever it comes to your red zone efficiency, and I think you'll be just fine at the end of the day. That's where I have my power rankings at, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you leave us a like, share, subscribe, guys. Turn on those bell notifications so that you are notified every time we go live, post a new video, or post a new short here on SEC Live with the Voice of College Football. Make sure you follow me on social medias at Lucas Hill SEC. Follow us at the Voice of College Football at THEBOCFB. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay blessed. Don't stress. Y'all have a great rest of the day.